It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes.
That
Come
was
on,
amazing.
Tony. Come on,
Wow.
man.
Total surprise.
We have all these ringers coming in. Everybody's like, "Are you were serious? You were serious about this?" And
That
then look
was
at
really
you.
good.
That was great, man. We could have been in a bar right now. We should have been recording this.
I don't know why, but I feel like drinking.
I told you the wine fridge is in that room.
So, Tony, where are we? Where are we? Tell us where we.
We're at Upwardor.
Upwardor, the head office
Head office.
in Milton,
The one and only office.
the one and only office, and we're going to talk a lot about
Garage doors.
garage doors. We haven't done a podcast about garage doors.
And a whole bunch of stuff I don't know.
No, you
Anything about-
know a lot of stuff that you're going to teach us. We're looking forward to it. So today we're going to talk about garage doors. I'm excited about this. Carlito?
I'm totally excited because in real estate agents say that the most important thing on the outside of a house is a garage door.
Yeah.
They don't get out much.
So before we dive into the whole garage door world, we've got a little segment.
Oh, that would be history.
Oh, hang on a sec. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun
with
here.
Manny.
No, hang on. To find Tony and to find everybody that works here, I guess, in social media and stuff like that. So on Instagram, it's Upwardor _Inc. www.upwardor.com. And then to find you specifically, you're the head honcho here. You want people reaching out to you?
Of course.
Wow, look at that.
I like that.
Average Joe. T. Anderson at upwardor.com.
Right. 1-0. 1-0 in Upwardor.
Oh, that's right. Only 1-0. Oh, you should change it to 2.
I didn't name it. I just bought it.
Got it. All right. So now, Carlito.
Wait a second, Manny. Are you ready now? Because you
Yes,
told me
yes,
go
yes,
ahead,
yes,
then
yes,
you took it
yes.
away from me, and
I'm
now
sorry.
you're okay.
I'm sorry.
So it's history with Manny.
I want to ask Tony and Carlito too. When was the garage door invented?
Does this include a barn?
And by whom?
Really?
Does it include a barn?
What? I don't know about the barn. I don't know, right?
When was the garage door invented?
So you probably never heard of C.G. Johnson, but he's the inventor of the garage door.
Patty Johnson's son.
Is that who it is?
I have no clue.
That was pretty good, though.
So he's the one that created the first overhead garage door. And take a guess on what year? This is going back.
1400s.
1886.
1921. 1921
Wow, it
is
took
when
that
you
long.
started first seeing garage doors, overhead garage doors, right?
Overhead garage doors.
See, that's the difference.
And then he took advantage of another development, which he created too, the first electric garage door. And that was happening in, take a guess when that happened. How many years later?
1 year later.
1921?
1922.
No,
When was it invented? 26?
21.
Oh, 21.
So when did he invent the electric garage door?
26.
Bang on.
Wow.
26.
You're-
1926.
I'm never playing poker with you.
There you go. You got it
you.
right. So that was...
History with Manny. Actually, that was pretty interesting to find out that it was invented so late in history.
You think that's late?
Yeah, I just would assume that it would have been earlier on. Like,
Right after the first, or during the First World War, and right before the Depression.
well, cars were invented way before that, so I just would assume that. I guess it was just barn swing doors. So
Or carports.
yeah.
Carports
probably,
and then
yeah.
coach houses. It would have been like that, and then they started attaching the garage. Right? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to talk a lot about. So now back to you, Tony. Where do we want to begin?
Well, let's talk about you a little bit.
Sure.
You got a history in construction.
Not a good one.
That depends. That depends on who's on the other end.
Were you in Mexico that year?
Were you?
I might have been. I might have been.
Somebody was my cellmate that looks familiar.
Señor Manny.
As soon as I saw Nevis, I was like, wait a second.
Out of the two of us, I think it's going to be Carlito.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so now we're in Mexico, and you come up with the idea for garage doors. No.
No,
How does it
no.
work?
I would say it was 2014.
So very recent.
Very recent. I worked in another part of the construction industry, and then with a business partner, we got out and switched segments from drywall to garage doors.
And you knew nothing about garage doors?
Nothing. Still don't.
And how was the market then compared to how it is now?
The company's grown a lot, so it's tough to say because, I was in a completely different part of the business, and so, at that point, you're 4 or 5 years after the recession. So 2008.
It's true. You were just we were all climbing out of that recession there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, for a couple years climbing out of the recession in the wallboard industry, I was focused on wallboard, and then went into the garage door industry and knew nothing about it other than at the time I owned a house that didn't have one.
A garage door?
Didn't have a garage door. Didn't have a garage. So that's what I knew about the garage door business.
How old is this house?
I was down in Leaside,
Okay.
young
Yeah.
Baby Eglinton area.
Okay, so an oldie Toronto.
Oldie, 1920s-ish.
They're beautiful homes. You got to maintain them, but they're beautiful homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you just jump into garage doors.
Jumped in it.
And how is it? How has it been in the last 6 years?
Up and down.
Really?
That's pretty funny.
I know. It's just pure jokes today.
Up and down.
Quietly, right?
Yeah, of course, quietly, without any effort. It's been, it's been a lot of learning for me. Coming from, wallboard to garage doors is completely different.
You know what I got to say? I think you actually have an advantage over the competition out there because they have probably been doing the same mousetrap since day one. You come in, fresh perspective, new eyes.
It's interesting from a business perspective because from the wallboard industry, you talk to contractors who do drywall. And if they've been doing drywall or wallboard or ceilings a long time, they know that part of the business. And so everything to them is unique to their industry. So I come over to the garage door industry and it's the same story. Everything that affects me is unique to me. The garage door industry is like every other. And they had a saying around here until I started zapping people with a taser that every garage door is a snowflake. They're all unique.
That's nice.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of bullshit. Right?
You didn't believe it?
I didn't believe it.
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
But I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. So, for me, it was interesting because I bought a company that was still using the handwritten POs.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is this company?
This company's been now 47 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's history here.
There's history here. So we have a product called aluminum door called AL976, and it was invented in 1976. So this company's been around a long time.
Well, some things just go into habit, and I guess that's why the paper trail was so strong still when you got here, right?
Well, this office that you see around you, this was rows upon rows of boxes of files. There were
administrative section of the business?
This right here.
Really?
Yeah. There was one desk out there in the corner, and then everything else was files and boxes of files and POs. And
from every order over the history?
Crazy.
So you had to put that into computers and put all those customers in there.
Yeah, so we're in our second. They had computers, but for instance, they had an ERP system, and the only thing they used it for was to take an order. No production planning, no inventory control, nothing. No financial planning. Everything was done outside the system. We just finished launching our second. I've been on my own in this industry now for about 3 years. So we're on our second iteration of a new ERP system. We just launched it a couple weeks ago.
And how's it running?
Well, it has its challenges. It's running. It's doing what we want it to do, but like any other system, as you guys probably are aware, it's human dependent for data entry and making sure that your bombs are right, costs are right, materials inputted correctly, and all that kind of stuff. So you flush through that, but you build in safeguards to point you to the number. You should be able to get to that number, whatever number you're looking for. You should be able to get it to it from 2 or 3 different ways. And so if you can't get it from 3 different ways, something's wrong somewhere. So you go fix it. But it's a lot of work.
But okay, we're also at the factory.
We're at the factory.
So how
warehouse?
We're at the
No, we
manufacture.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah, so you guys make it here.
68,000 square feet, this facility.
Wow.
So how many doors you pumping out a day?
Can't tell you that.
That's trade.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us off mic?
No.
Everybody tells this stuff off
I don't
mic.
know in either situation. So
Okay, all right.
we produce an 8x7 garage door. We can produce one in, let's see here, 3 minutes.
Wow.
What the? Seriously?
Yeah,
Insulated
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
glass.
No, if you want glass, that's a little bit extra.
Is it? It's not running right now.
No,
I want to see those 3 minutes.
it's a continuous line.
Doesn't matter what color, or you're doing certain colors at a certain time, or
We do certain colors, certain stamps, certain sizes, certain at certain
3
times.
minutes to produce an 8x7 garage door.
Door face, yeah.
The door face.
Yeah. But the other things happen simultaneously in other parts of the business, right? Like the hardware, the track, and all that stuff.
So how big is the garage door industry? And hang on a sec. I actually want to talk about. We have a lot of American followers too. So should we be saying garage?
I love garages.
Maybe.
I'm just. They might not
I
understand.
love my barn and my garage.
Yeah.
We just lost every American listener now.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
having fun.
We're having fun. Garage, whatever. Tomato, tomato. How many door styles do you have?
On the resi side,
Yeah.
we have 15, 16 colors, and we have 11 different stamps.
What's the most popular one?
Don't tell me colonial.
No, now? Well,
No, these days, no way.
Everybody's got a different name, but I would say by far the most popular color is black.
Yeah. And
It's
10
for
years
sure.
ago, nobody wanted black because nobody would warrant it.
Right.
That's it. So now you guys are perfected it. Everybody's perfecting black.
Is it the metal that perfected it, or is it the PVC? What is it now?
Well, it's not PVC, so it's pre-painted metal, but, I mean, no different than anything else. Not every garage door is the same. I think a lot of folks that were using certain materials, when black got hot, it popped, so separated from the
The
core
insulation
and
of
the
the
face.
core, yeah, all that stuff. Then you get the bubbles, and
Right.
you're like, oh, what's going on here?
Right.
so
Bad
I guess
door.
corrugation helped with that. What?
It's not corrugated. In fact, the most popular for us, I would say, is the smooth finish black panel.
Wow.
Everyone's going smooth now because I think
Still has an embossment, so it's still, and not all embossments are the same. But I would say smooth finish black panel is the most popular.
Can you tell us how you're actually making that embossment? Or is that trade?
No, it's not trade, but we have a particular embosser that we paid and we designed, and so we have a certain style and pattern on ours. Everybody does it the same, except if you're someone who's been in the garage door business and you were big into residential, which we were not when I bought the company. I would say we did 80% commercial and 20% residential. They only ran the resi line 1.5 days a week. In fact, they never had a full-time crew running the resi line.
Now, who's larger, resi or commercial?
It's about 50-50.
Now you've actually changed
Wow.
it to a 50-50 over 6 years.
Yeah, over 2.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's impressive, no? And you say you don't know
That's
anything.
not bad.
That's pretty good, no?
We got lots to do.
Still more?
People will hear of us soon.
Huh.
Got to wake some people up.
Yeah, I like to hear that, man.
Little small company in Milton, like we're in the GTA. We're in the Golden Horseshoe
a
here.
Small,
No, you're part of-
68,000 square foot warehouse
Facility.
Small.
No.
What's your favorite style, and do you change your doors frequently enough to enjoy different styles to kind of?
At my house?
Yeah.
No, I can't afford that.
Since we're talking about price, what's a basic start to a garage door, and
There's too
how
many
high
variables, right?
How high can it go to?
Too many variables. I mean, so we only have steel polyurethane insulated. So I don't know if this is the right terminology or not, but I don't make like builder quality. You know what I mean? You go
Track builder.
Track builder. You go to.
You mean the ones that kind of sound like you're opening up a can of
Yeah,
soup or something?
They look like they're from IKEA and it's
Yeah.
not real glass.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't make those.
You don't make that.
They should not be allowed in the building code, but that's a whole different
They
story.
are. That's a different podcast.
But anyway, we make polyurethane insulated. We don't make low R value. Everything's 16 plus R value on our 1 3/4 product. So we don't make the low fighter range.
You got one set standard, one set quality.
We have a high quality product.
Is it too much competition out there, or just way too many crappy doors out there? Is that the reason why?
Well, there's a lot of crappy doors, and I'm not interested in blowing my brains out to make $20 on the door. And quite frankly, I don't know why installers are interested in blowing the brains out to make
It makes
30,
no
40
sense.
bucks on a door.
Well, I mean, there's the question. How long should a garage door last? You buy a home, you put a new garage door
Should
in
be
it.
a lifetime.
Yeah, and then lifetime under any warranty is defined, right? But
What are you talking? 15, 20, 25 years?
oh, for sure. I mean, you're gonna probably have to replace the spring.
Yeah, that's a given.
That's easy, but the door face it should last.
Should last forever.
Unless
for
your
sure.
kids are playing hockey out front
That's a different
Right.
story.
or basketball.
Sure, but a garage door should easily last you 10, 15, 20 years. Easy. What will change before the garage door will fail is most likely the style and color.
It depends on the dramatic choice of style. So
Right.
if you get some extreme ones, but I mean, you also have very contemporary looking homes that dictate what style they're going to go with.
Sure.
And that house is always going to look that style. It's the transitional homes that if you've got something that's traditional looking and you try to slap a more contemporary door on it, that's going to get changed a lot sooner.
Right. But
because
you remember at one time the pattern was that we called ours. So, when I bought the company, a lot of the styles are already named. So they're named for a lot of streets around Milton. The family.
Oh, is that how
yeah.
it works?
So Sheridan is one of our styles. Trafalgar is another.
Carlito.
Right? Carlito. We don't have the Carlito yet, but
That must be a very tall door.
yeah, and unreliable.
Whoa! That's a low blow.
And then we have a craft. So then we launched a I'm calling it a 3-sectional door, but a 28 and 32 inch high section. So on a standard 8x7 home, you can get 3 sections, not 4. And on an 8-foot high garage door, you can get 3 sections, not 4. And so we launched that a year and a half ago. That's called the Craft Series. And we have 3 patterns in there, and I named all those after my 3 favorite craft beers. So I had craft series of garage doors. So we have Muskoka, Denison, and Granville.
That's interesting you say that because most of my friends spend a lot of time drinking in the garage.
Yeah.
So that's pretty brilliant.
Drinking
It
and
matches.
something
Is
else.
that is that how you came up with that?
That's the 11 p.m. podcast.
Sun is setting.
It's funny to
Yeah,
say,
right.
but it's 11 p.m.
What makes your door a good door?
Well, I like to tell people that what makes our door a good door is there's actual steel in it.
Instead of like
Wood.
wood, people are still using wooden doors.
One of my main competitors, who I won't name, but one of the large competitors out there, they still use wood in the ends. And a lot of my competitors, so if you look at what I'm going to call the width of the door, but on the line you would call it the length of the panel.
Okay.
So let's just say on an 8x7 garage door, we would call that the 8-foot direction, 8 feet wide. A lot of my competitors will place a vertical strip where the hinge goes or a plate.
Okay.
You screw the hinge in the back. We use a continual reinforcing strip, so top and bottom of the panel.
So it strengthens the panel.
Strengthens the door, and we use 26 gauge steel front and back. So we have a heavy door, and so that is the one knock about our product is it's heavy. And I always tell people it's heavy because there's actual steel in it. We don't substitute product. We don't use thinner gauge material, and we don't use things that really shouldn't be in there.
I like that.
But you guys are selling across America as well too?
We sell through parts of the U.S. We sell through some parts of South America. We sell across Canada, and we did sell a little bit into Europe. But in Europe, they want that pinch-proof edge design.
Yeah.
And so we still have the equipment back there. I can still make a pinch-proof door, but it wasn't worth it. So because
Just for one market.
just for one market,
Canada doesn't want it. U.S. doesn't
it
want
did
it.
not catch on in North America.
Really?
And why is
No.
that?
I mean,
The amount of times that you were actually in that scenario.
yeah, I mean, so you can't protect everybody from everything, right? And so you used to call a finger, finger catch if you would stick your fingers in there and to get caught, or worry that somebody might catch something in the door and go up and down. But now there's so many safety features with the openers, with all kinds of stuff to stop the door from moving, stop the door from closing all the way, that the whole system is pretty safe. The pinch-proof design is way more difficult to install, and a lot of the manufacturers just never got behind it to push it. But like putting, do you have a catch-proof man door front entryway door? Of course not. You can still get your finger caught in it. You still get your finger caught in your car
same
door.
with a window.
Sure.
So you can pinch it all kinds of stuff.
Right. Car door. Yeah. So it just never caught on.
Does it make the actual frame or the assembly of the door, the pinch proof, does it actually make it weaker, stronger because you're doing that, or is it just a different process?
I don't know if there's any specific information to make if it makes it weaker or stronger, but I know it's it's just not popular. So for us, Europe still has it. For us we basically shut our plant down, that line down for a week or so to make an every 3-month order. It just wasn't worth it.
You guys don't get it. I know that most of your doors came from the commercial side, so you guys started getting into a lot of panels and glass and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool, where you start seeing it in a lot of commercial restaurants and other locations.
The aluminum.
And the aluminum series, right? So is the resi catching on to that? Are they liking that or no?
I'd say yes. In some modern style that we talked about a little bit earlier, maybe it was off mic or not, I'm not sure, but some modern homes use a black. They'll have a black
aluminum style.
Black aluminum style.
So what do you guys, powder coat it? No.
Powder coat it.
Powder coat, really?
Yeah. Powder coated, get it direct from factory, painted.
It looks slick.
Yeah.
And then you could choose a glass and
right.
Is it just one kind of sandblasting, or is it just you can choose different opacities?
Oh, you mean
glass?
frosted?
Frosted, yeah.
Oh, for the glass?
Yeah.
Oh, you sure, get whatever you want.
Really?
Yeah.
You can go 10%, 20%, whatever full.
Sure, whatever kind of glass, like whatever glass manufacturer's capable. And some of them look really slick when you get the reflective glass.
Yeah.
That looks slick.
I love looking at myself.
I'm sure.
So
you just met him and he's already caught on. Says something a lot about him.
What are the typical things people are still buying, and how and what is changing that you're seeing that the younger people are buying now for their homes?
Well, so one thing and maybe it's just me, but I'm not from the industry, but one thing I have noticed, let's just take style out of it for a second. Whether it's a builder or a homeowner, they will, if you think about how much you pay for your front entryway door.
A lot.
And how big that is.
Compared to
the same material, steel and polyurethane insulation on your garage door, and how much bigger it is.
I'll go even further. How much money people spend on the front facade cladding, and how they'll choose a specific wood, cedar, or now they're going porcelain slabs, or
right.
they'll go granite. And it's based on square footage, but then
right.
they overlook. What's the square footage of a garage door, typical?
Well, 56 square feet.
For
8
single.
by 7. For single, yeah.
Okay.
So 112 square feet in most cases, right?
You know, it's just funny. I just realized that, I don't know if you don't, I do Manny Mondays on my social media. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah.
Last week, or this week's was about garage doors. Last week's was about garage doors. How I had a gripe against certain neighborhoods and certain areas painting garage doors pinks and purples
right.
and lime green and all. And some people were biting me back saying, listen, if you're not paying the mortgage, if it's not your house, then you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, yes and no kind of thing. If you're the neighbor to that house and you've got this really loud pink garage door that matches the pink shutters on the second floor, that's kind of, ruining the neighborhood, in my opinion. And then most people agreed with me. I don't know how you felt about it, Carlito.
You got me in a different. I like graffiti, so I live downtown Toronto. Also, right by you. I'm at Bathurst and Bloor.
Well, that's why you like graffiti.
And I do a lot of like alley walking. So
Sure.
I'll creep around the back alleys.
Right.
That's where you can
At
find
night.
me. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can find me in the back
Are
alleys.
you surprised, Tony?
I'm usually like, hey, psst, come here.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love graffiti, so I love that all the garages are actually painted by
Right.
artists. There's major strips down the alleys, and
Yeah.
like you can see some crazy art.
Listen, art is one thing. A pink or purple or lime green door is another.
I think that if your garage is more private, you should be able to do what you want. I don't agree with my property value going up or down because of your garage door. So if anything, I'd rather see it go up. So if you're painting it pink, God bless you that you want it pink, but I don't want to look at a pink door when I'm trying to sell my house. So I agree with you. I don't like the super big, trendy colors that people are painting right now. I would rather see something casual and classic and clean, grays.
Suit the home.
I don't mind going a red, but that's still going too far for me. I like grays. I like blacks myself, flat blacks, high gloss blacks. That's me, but graffiti's definitely me.
Surprise, surprise. What's the color range here? What do you guys have? How many different colors?
13, I think.
13.
Yeah.
And it goes from black all the way to. People still making white doors? Yeah, they're still
White's
making
really
white doors.
popular.
Can we talk about some of the colors?
Yeah, sure.
From
wanna talk
most
about?
popular to least?
Most popular, I still think most popular is either going to be white or black now. And black, so last year our black went up 68%, which put us in a little bit of trouble because you don't kind of plan for almost 70% increase.
Why did it go up?
Just black's become that much popular.
So they're making more black paint, and is this a fuel thing? Is this just like more consumption of fuel? So then they just want to increase the market. So more people wanted black paint, so they just wanted to increase the market. I
don't think so. I just think it's the trend. It's the trend for window frames.
Is there more involved when you're painting a black door? Do you need to?
We don't. So we buy it.
You already have it.
So we buy it direct from the steel mill. We would go through. I won't tell you exactly, but we'd go through a couple million pounds of pre-painted steel here a year. And so we buy direct from the mill. We don't get ours offshore. It
Thank God.
It comes in pre-painted.
Don't get Carlito on that.
China.
Yeah.
No, I love.
No, are you talking about China? I don't know.
Is this some kind of new language?
We don't want to actually say it, but we want to express it.
Oh, you mean like cha? Nah.
We're gonna get in trouble. I don't know by whom, but we're gonna get in trouble.
I love mom and pop stores. I love Canadian built companies. I love seeing that Canadians are building and working and producing Canadian products.
Right.
I'm all for that. So I love hearing that it's all local and it's.
But do you support it?
Yeah,
Because I hear that a lot.
No,
I
yes,
totally
we do.
support it.
Right.
We
Yeah.
actually.
But you know what I'm saying, right? It is the right thing to say.
Of course.
Buy local, shop local, and then go into the store and see that one's 50 cents cheaper.
I don't
No,
know if you
we
know,
don't do
but
that.
we
No.
don't say the right thing here. We say the real thing here.
Right. Perfect.
there's two different things.
Yeah.
The
but
right
you know what I'm
thing-
talking about.
Yeah.
We're not
Right.
diplomatic. We're really bad at diplomatic.
But I mean, basically, this is a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
This isn't some massive corporation.
No.
Like the way the business has been set up and the way you took it over and the way that you're pushing it in the direction you're headed.
Right.
You're still keeping the core value of it.
You're looking at the shareholder.
That's it.
That's it.
How do we buy in?
I don't know. Make me an offer.
Well,
I'm a newfie. I take salt cod and screech.
Oh, this is going to be a 2-day podcast.
so I guess you must find it an honor to know that, real estate agents and people that are assessing houses are saying that the garage door is the most important part of the facade.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't know they said the most important, but I did know it was top.
It factors into
top
the
three.
curb appeal. Yeah.
Yeah, top 3 for sure of resale value and return on investment for your home. I did know that, but it's a big deal, and it's it's not a regulated trade. As you know, you can slap on a tool belt and call yourself a garage door guy, which kind of bothers me.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
that's-
kind of scares me. The springs scare me. There's a lot of dangerous components to
Well,
doing
it's
garages.
definitely not a DIY. I don't want anybody thinking that.
There's a lot of teeth on garages out there from people trying to wind their own spring.
Yeah, you can get killed. You can break your neck from that
And
thing
you can
too.
bust your jaw.
Yeah. So that's stay away. Hire a professional, someone that
Yeah.
knows how to do
But
it.
if you think about it, what other part of your house, or in most cases, commercial buildings, let's exclude an elevator for a second. But what other part of a residential, for sure, or commercial building is that big and moves that often?
There isn't another part.
Right.
That's the biggest part of any.
And it's an unregulated.
It's very. It's a
unregulated
very good point,
trade.
and it should be.
I,
Do you remember the guillotine garage doors?
mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they wanted to
I
regulate
don't.
it
Why
then.
don't you tell me about that?
What are you talking about? You don't. What? You're my age. I don't understand how you not.
Guillotine.
The one that flipped right out and you had that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Right.
And
You
then
have to have that big clearance. Don't pull in too tight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't put-
exactly.
that's right.
That door, right?
Okay, yeah.
You figured they would have regulated it back then because those things were basically guillotines.
Yeah.
Those would chop you in half, right?
Yeah.
But that was a funny door. We never had them.
I actually have a friend with one still.
I'm surprised.
Downtown. There's probably tons downtown.
There are.
They have no clearance.
You ever call them up and say, "Hey, man, how's your garage door doing?"
Actually, he's talking about getting a garage door. So I'm hoping that this podcast will influence him to do the right things or buy the right garage door for his needs. That's what I want to get into a little bit more with you. Another thing that's really important is when I go to my friends' places, 70% of my time is spent in the garage, and that garage door is going up, down constantly.
Like they won't let you in the house?
No, it's the doghouse, right? So, sometimes we separate.
Do they bring dinner out to you? Or?
Barbecue's right out front, or it comes right out of the garage. But I find that a lot of my friends are always hanging out in the garage. Like,
Sure.
I'll swing by one of my buddies' places. They got their hot rods out there. They got their Harleys out there, or they're just sitting around listening to music. A lot of guys are, drinking in the garage. So the garage door is like major focal point. I mean, with that much use, this must be a huge industry, no?
So the funny thing is, I came from an industry where all manufacturers would report their volume confidentially to a central body, and then you would figure out how much was in the industry and how much your share was, and you do a little reverse engineering and kind of figure out where you stood. I don't know what that number is for the garage door industry in North America. And one of the things that I don't really worry about too much is the majority of that industry would be your track builder that you referenced earlier. And that's the uninsulated market, and that's not my market. So a good chunk of the North American industry, I don't even want to play in. That's especially
a market
in the U.S., right?
Yeah,
with the legalities and the liability in the U.S., I don't want to touch.
Well, that's a cowboy industry. I mean, that's a market that people can't really afford the way it's supposed to be done. So they'll get this thing that will eventually fall apart over a decade or two or sooner, and then they got to change the door. They got to change the windows. They got to change everything.
What's interesting, if you look at most home designs, does tie into how big a part the garage door plays in your resale value or house value. You drive up to the driveway, you just don't want to see one side of your house looking like crap.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to see that?
No.
The challenge is because it's outside, not in the house. Nobody cares about the garage door until the second it doesn't work.
I was just about to say that, which is so true. You don't think about it. You don't care for it.
Are you crazy?
What?
It's one of the best. It's one of the best times. When you come back from work, you press your button, garage door opens, and once that door opens, you're going in to relax from a hard day of work. I'm looking at it a different way than you guys. You guys are just off to the next thing, I guess.
We got to do a little segment, Carlito.
That would be building talk with Manny.
Well, we actually call it building code talk.
I'm sorry.
So there, like you said earlier, there is nothing in the building code regarding garage doors. Nothing at all, except for, I guess, you factor in the steel beam that's over. That's the only thing that's factored in. So I went a different route here for the building code talk. So we're talking water distribution systems.
Excellent,
eh?
Yeah.
You want
I
to learn
know more about that.
You want to learn something about that? So basically, distribution systems. We're talking about connections to drinking water and water main described in Part 7, Section 7. So that's typically for storm sewage used for water closets, urinals, subsurface irrigation, or priming of traps. But rainwater is part of the building code. Rainwater that is free of solids and treated to conform to Articles 7.7.4.1 is permitted to be used as a water supply for, do you guys want to guess? What parts of the house? What parts of the...
Flowering.
No, everything.
Everything. Clothes washers, laundry trays, mop sinks, bedpan washers, water closet, urinals, hose bibs, subsurface irrigation, and priming traps. Isn't it interesting that rainwater collected can be used for the same thing that you actually connect to the water main?
Yeah, I have a cistern in my cottage.
I thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Yeah, it is definitely.
And that was...
a building code talk with Manny. It's funny you say that.
Wait a second. We're talking to Tony.
Hey.
All right. Upwardor with only one O.
One
Up
O.
or down.
Upwardor on Instagram. Give them a follow. Reach out to them. Ask them at Upwardor_Inc. www.upwardor.com, and you can call the head honcho himself, man, the Mexican boy himself, the Newfie. Here, you can call him up, T. Anderson.
Mexican Newfie.
That's almost double the trouble. T. Anderson at upwardor.com. We're going to lose everybody in Mexico.
Mix. I love it.
All right, let's get back to you, Tony. What else do we want to talk about when it comes
Whoa,
to...
there's a
Well, so you had a
lot.
question.
There's
Okay,
so
go
much.
ahead.
I don't know what you want to talk about.
I've been letting you blab, and I've just been kind of interrupting a little bit, but I got a lot of questions because I really want someone that's going to listen to this podcast to know what they're going to want to go buy from you next. So a lot of the questions I get is, all the new modern garage doors now are a lot of windows. You've been talking about, you've said it like at least 10 times so far, you will not build a door that's not insulated. So
Right.
let's talk about our value. I think that a garage being used so much to entertain, hang out with the guys or the girls, play some darts, fix your car during the winter, it's important to have an insulated door. Let's start with how much R value is one of your doors?
Over 60.
Over 60.
One of your doors...
16.
Oh, 16. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We were about
What
to
the
say.
hell do you think I was putting in that?
I was like, wow.
How thick is that door?
Yeah.
That's intense.
That's our 5-foot thick model.
It goes up and you can't fit anything
Right.
but a Lamborghini inside
Right.
there.
That's it.
So, now that, you're talking about R16, that's great. That's pretty impressive. I mean, it's almost up to the same standards as, R24
So
for
the
an
thickness
outside
is
wall.
what, two and a half?
Inch and 3/4.
Inch and 3/4. You're getting R16?
Yeah.
How are you pulling off getting R16 an inch and 3/4?
What do you
That's
mean?
a
How am I
trade
pulling it
secret.
off? I'm not telling you that.
That's a trade secret.
Well,
Off the mic later on.
I am also interested in, have you opened them up to see them if the insulation's still solid as a mass
Oh, hell
after
yeah.
a few years? Because
Oh,
I know with
yeah,
steel
yeah.
doors, we did a couple tests and we cut them open and we found that all the insulation fell to the bottom of the doors on half pound spray foam. So is there a particular spray foam you guys are using?
Yeah, so we get our chemical, and it's two chemicals combined to make the polyurethane. So we get our chemical from BASF. We trust them. They're a very reputable company. We've been CFC free for years, before CFC became kind of mandatory. And we use the same level of polyurethane in our resi door as we do in our commercial door. In fact, the
Wow.
same steel, same hardware.
There's stricter standards in commercial.
Yeah, so we use the same. In fact, if the lights weren't off, and I could show you the back, there's only one pump line, so it just goes to two different lines.
You were going to say something to Carlito before he interrupted you about what's more important than that R value.
Well, so there's two things. One is, so R value is one thing, right? So they test the panel and say, so this panel gives you this much insulation. It does nothing to do with how that panel fits together. So the edge detail and how two panels fit together.
that factors in.
So that's now something that's trying to gain traction as a U factor. So that's the kind of the penetration
Yep.
value of the door. We'll see how far the industry takes that. And then it's the flip side of that, you were talking about earlier, somebody's mentioned about, millennials that are going to go buy a garage door. What's interesting is they all want the latest and coolest opener that they can
Yeah,
connect to their
the tech.
iPhone.
Yeah.
And then they want to pay $300 for a garage door that has zero value and no insulation on the windows.
Do they honestly want that, the millennials?
Sure.
I've got a small beef with them.
Well, let's educate them and tell them what to really look for and what to really buy. Like
Well,
how to
what's-
spend their money wisely. That's what we want to do on this podcast. We want to
Right.
teach people how to spend their money in the most efficient way. I mean, it's bulletproof to say it has to be, spray foam filled. So, I mean, you need an R value. Everybody
You'd be
hates
surprised how many doors out there. We mentioned that stuff looks like it was bought from the do-it-yourself furniture store,
Yep.
right? No
Yeah.
names mentioned. And then a lot of the track homes would be a rigid polystyrene, and so that's an R value of R9 perhaps,
At the most, at that
the
thickness, yeah.
yeah. Single pane windows and a crappy opener.
So how do we get the millennials to actually understand that you can't spend $2,000 on the tech device or the opener or the connection to Alexa or Google or whatever, and then all of a sudden get a $300 door?
Well, I think they just have to spend the time to look and understand about the energy, the energy savings and the material savings and the type of material that's being used to make their door. I think it's important.
One of the questions I've had many times, and it's an argument between contractors, and I hear homeowners asking the question all the time. So you being the man today, hopefully you'll be able to give us the right information. if I have a lot of windows and I'm, this millennial that wants all this new cool windows, how much R value am I losing now? Or am I keeping that R value by having those windows?
There's no way you're keeping the same amount of R value.
So there's no way of a 2-pane glass or a single pane glass in a garage.
Keep as a solid panel? No.
So you're saying that the less windows, the more R value?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm. It's not that I don't agree with that. I want people to hear this. They need to hear it because this argument is going on and on all the time.
But that's the trade-off. So if you want a lot of natural daylight coming into your garage space, you're going to have to trade off the installation factor of it. But I've also noticed that if you've got a good garage door and it's insulated, your garage is actually your car's not frozen in our cold winters, right?
No.
It's actually, the garage is a comfy space.
Is that something that you might be working on in the future? Is a better pane glass for no?
It's not worth going triple pane.
It's not me, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
that would be the glass industry, and we buy and we source, and we buy all of our stuff local as well for the glass.
But the glass on a garage door is primarily homeowners. I'm thinking they want light in their garage.
They want light, and a lot of them don't really know what they're getting. And one of the things that bugs me a lot is, even if they did say I would like option A, would they ever know if their contractor installed option A? They would have no clue if that was a single pane.
You talking about those garage doors with the mullion bars in it,
Or-
like the plastic mullion bars, or no?
I'm just saying, if they say, yeah, I would like a door that's this and this and this, would they ever know if they got it?
Well,
no, they wouldn't.
Well, let's talk a little
There's
bit.
lots
more.
of ways to
problem.
hide it. That's where the regulation comes in.
We've been involved with a contractor not far outside the GTA with a home builder. His incumbent garage door installer had been installing him the wrong stuff for, I think it was somewhere between 6 and 7 years. And when a contractor got a price from me for the product they said he wanted, and he called me back and said, you're way out of whack. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just not. And so when he went digging, he came back and said, yeah, so I've got all of this builder's work now, because my competitor, so his contractor competitor in his local market, had been saying I'm giving you A, but I'm really installing D.
Wow.
That's a little.
And if that can happen to a home builder who does that day in,
You
day
can
out,
only imagine what's going to happen
what's
to
going to happen to a
homeowners.
homeowner? Right.
They're completely unaware of what's going
They
on.
know, is that the color? Is that the style?
That's all they care about.
Is that, and it opens when I push the button and it closes when I push the button.
So how do they get that information?
How do they get what information?
Well, that specification, that technical information, that's really valuable. Like Carlito and I, we've always spoken about how the stuff that's behind the drywall surface, inside your wall, the way the house is actually assembled, that's far more important than the kitchen countertop.
Right.
And, all the beauty stuff that goes into
Right.
the room, into the house, right? And so how do homeowners get
Well,
the
that's
garage
what's going to
information?
save you the money to buy those
Well, that's
nice
for
things
the
in the
energy
long run.
efficiency. So, I mean, do you guys navigate it really well on the website, or how do you guys get the message out there?
For any of our stuff, we have technical drawings and so on and so forth. But what I don't know is all of those thousands and thousands of interactions that happen between a garage door installer and homeowners every day.
Yeah, it's true.
And what are they showing them? Are they putting stuff on their own literature? This is a Bob's Garage Door Shop, and here's what I'm selling you, and here's my product. And you may or may not know who the manufacturer is. And in fact, a lot of them, when you go on the website, they don't pick and they don't show their manufacturer of choice. Some do, but not all.
Yeah, because you got a really interesting point. You got all these garage door installers, and they get to pick and choose. But the thing is that in one hand they can sell a really good quality product, but on the other hand they're installing a inferior product compared to what they sold.
How many times have you talked about that on your podcast? though?
Well, lots of times that we talk about that shady business about
Right.
it, but it's really easy. I can see it happening in this particular segment of the industry.
Sure, it's not like you say I want a granite countertop, and you go and you go, well, hey, that's not a granite countertop.
That's
It's
quartz.
true.
Right?
It's true.
They look at the garage door and go, well, that's the color. It looks like that. It opens when I hit the button.
Wow.
No,
Well-
I'm not saying obviously everybody's not like that, but a good portion of general homeowner population are. And like I said earlier, like you only really notice your garage door when it doesn't work.
Yeah, when it fails.
Let's get some of the myths out of the way then. We're doing pretty good. Insulated doors are definitely the way to go. We have a high R value of R16. You don't want to do windows. So if you do windows, you're going to lose a high value in your R value.
Casters?
It doesn't matter.
Wheels?
Huh?
What about your wheels?
What about my wheels?
What about them?
What about them?
Tell us about your wheels.
What about the wheels?
What are they? Do they have spinners? Are they light inside? What's going on here? What about your wheels?
I don't know what you're talking about. Spinners and light inside. What the hell is that?
Wait, you're our age, aren't you?
I don't know. I don't know how old you are.
First time listener, never caller.
Well, I was actually leading to this, and
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of break it down. One of the biggest myths is it doesn't matter if it's black. It's not going to change how much heat's going to go through because there's a thermal break on the door. So we don't have to worry about having black doors anymore.
That's a myth that's gone
So if
now.
anyone's, I know, but people need to hear this, that's a myth. So if you paint something black, this is, we're in a different year now. We don't have these.
Technology.
Yeah, technology's come a long way. One thing that is very important to me when it comes to garage doors is the weather stripping on the outside. I like to see very large rubber on there. Can you talk a little bit about what buyers should be looking for or what you offer in your doors?
Yeah, so we offer two different styles, and sadly, because I don't sell the homeowner, I sell the contractor or the distributor,
Installers, okay.
who then are going to go sell whomever, homeowner or another installer. And so we buy that from a third party. Actually, another Canadian manufacturer where we get majority of our stuff. Their factory right around the corner here. I'll give them a shout out. Can I give them a shout out?
Sure,
Yeah.
of course you can. Who is
So
it?
Elton.
Elton. Okay.
Elton. And so we buy a lot of our product from them. There is a lot of overseas product, and give it a year and you can see, looks like a snake on
The
the side of
waving.
your,
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen that before. You're
Yeah.
walking around the neighborhood and you just pay attention to certain things.
Well-
And it's funny you say that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you either pay now or you pay later.
So what is going on with that waviness, the snake thing? What is it?
Well, it's just cheap PVC.
So the sun, the UV
Sun and
is
UV
just
and it works.
deteriorated.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So what do we need to know about, what do homeowners or contractors need to be selling to their homeowners about the weather stripping? Like, what am I leading to?
Well, I think for all of these components, right? I think if you're a homeowner, you really should ask, well, what are you selling me that component, that component, that component? Because you can piecemeal out almost the entire system. So you can buy a door face from me. You can buy your weather strip from a guy down the street. You can buy your tracks from another guy down the street. You can buy your springs from another guy down the street. As a homeowner, I think you really need to understand, okay, Mr. Contract, you've come in with a really pretty brochure. That's another thing. The pictures and the actual product don't often look the same.
Kind of like Tinder, huh?
Kind of like Tinder. Yeah.
I've never been on Tinder,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'm going to start going on there.
When did you take that photo? Yeah, 25 years ago. But no,
It was on a
so-
pager.
Yeah, yeah. They don't often look the same. They just don't, right? And so there are subtleties that I pick up now. Like again, when I was in the wall industry, I could never go to a friend's house and not look at their wall. Of
course not.
Not look at the
Of course
ceiling.
not.
Look for drywall cracks. I used to sell acoustical tile. I can't tell you how many times I looked at this stuff in here. And now there's things within the garage door business where I look and I go, why would someone ever pick that pattern? And the pattern I'm talking about is that wood grain looking embossment. It's
Yep.
old.
Yep.
It's old and dated. But in the brochure, you don't notice that wood grain pattern. But on a dark color, which is most popular, you really see it. And I mean, my personal opinion, I don't have that wood grain pattern, so maybe I'm biased. But I mean, we came up with our design in the last 5 years, and I didn't go with the wood grain pattern for a reason. Nobody wanted it, but it just looks bad. And
It looks dated.
it looks dated, and it almost like a knockdown ceiling or a popcorn ceiling, right?
Yeah,
Who
which
wants it?
I don't know who's
Perfect.
doing that still.
You know
Right.
what? It's so brilliant that you said that.
But but you don't see it in the photo.
No. The
And then
photo's too photoshopped to
The
look
photos
really good.
Photoshop and glossy in a certain
Yep.
angle and
Yep.
so on and so on and,
And
so
it's
on.
not your home.
Right. And so, I think there's a lot of stuff that homeowners really need to look at and say, show me a sample. Where are you getting this product? Like, what are you exactly putting in here? I think those are important questions.
What else do we really need to know about keeping the door airtight, mouse proof? You guys sell anything? Like, Do you have like a special rubber that prevents any mice from coming in? Because I see in a lot of older garage doors, that's where they're always coming in from. Is that something you guys are working on or talking about, or?
No, it just depends. A lot of it's install, right? So how well is that garage door closing on the bottom? And maybe their bottom rubbers
How tight it
worn.
seals.
How tight it seals. So a couple things. If it's too tight, you'll see the weather strip hit the window frame, and you'll start get scuff marks on the door, and you can hear it if you know what you're looking. But I guess if you're inside the car, you're not really paying attention to what the garage door opening sounds like. For the mouse, I mean, you can buy extra thick rubber for the bottom if you need it, but it's all installation. If it's installed properly and it's framed properly,
It seals. It
it
closes.
seals, right? And the guy installs it properly at the right angle and the right pitch. You're all good.
Can we talk a little bit about the tracks, double tracks?
8-track.
Yeah, sure. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Do you want to ask you whole land now?
I got a
You're our age. I know that.
I got a 1974 backhoe, Massey Ferguson.
Of course you
and
do.
I got this radio inside it, just like big block buttons.
Yeah, meatloaf. Dr.
So,
Hook.
What was the
8-track.
question?
So what I want to talk about a little bit of the benefits of jack mount motors, when jack mount motors should be used. A lot of times people talk about they can come up too close to the ceiling and kind of bind.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't make those. Although we do have a patent on an air-operated system for commercial that you use in car washes and car dealerships.
Oh, really? Why don't you bring it to Resi? Too expensive.
No, nobody has air operation in their home.
Yet.
I'm sure there's a lot of contractors that would be setting that up.
No.
You don't think
Compressor?
so?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Resi? No.
Yes.
Well, I hope so.
Every contractor I know is probably setting up their garages for that.
I have a 240 watt air compressor in my garage, so
Get out of here.
let's hook it up.
Get out of here.
I like air tools.
So that's why it's, the door we have is popular for ambulance stations, fire stations, car dealerships, car washes.
Because it opens quick.
Yeah, it opens quick. Yeah,
How quick are we talking?
up to 5 feet a second.
Wow.
So 2 seconds is open,
Yeah, so you have a slow start and a slow stop.
and then it ramps, and it goes there.
But that's like every high-speed door, right? You've got a slow start, slow stop.
These are panel doors that are opening up that
Sectional
fast?
doors.
So-
Yeah,
wow, eh?
yeah. I've
Here-
got a 16-footer out there that opens
2 seconds.
seconds. Well, I don't have it set to warp speed. There's really no need.
Okay,
right?
so we got to come back. We got to come back when the warehouse is going, because I got 3 minutes to watch a door happen,
Uh-huh.
and I got 2 seconds to watch it open.
Yeah. Just like prom night.
Well.
So I heard.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Please don't go there, because it's going to involve someone dying from you, okay?
Well, you were asking me about jack shaft,
Yes.
right? Jack shaft operators. That's what you're asking about.
Yeah.
On the Resi side. They're becoming more
Well, we call them jack mounts, so you call them jack shaft?
jack shaft, yeah.
Okay.
Because it direct drives to the shaft. Right.
All right.
They're becoming more popular.
They're expensive, but becoming more
They're
popular.
like 3 times the cost, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like them?
I have 3 of them.
You have
Can
three of them?
Can you
In my
explain
house,
this
yeah.
a little bit to the listeners? Like, we're having a conversation, but I find a lot of people say, I kind of got, left out in that part of that conversation because I didn't understand it. So if you could just kind of like explain that a little bit to the listeners.
Well, it just takes the old, the standard trolley mount, which would be in the middle of your ceiling, your garage, and like most things, they're trying to get a monolithic surface, and so you take that out of the picture. You don't have the operator in the middle, and jack shafts usually go on the inside door facing side, and drive the shaft, turn the shaft directly, so you don't have that long trolley either. A chain
I
or a
love
belt.
that.
It's great.
My buddy just put one in, and he's got a 12-foot door.
Yeah.
But there
on
are
his house.
limitations when you get into, let's go back to the track builders. The garages are generally not wide enough because you need a minimum 9 inches?
You need the clearance on the side.
on the side, right? So most track builder homes,
Right.
you have maybe 4 or 5 inches on the sides.
What-
So you can't fit that.
You can't.
shit.
But even more important about those mounts, how about the power and how does it work? Gravity, and how about the power? Does it have enough power?
Oh, for sure, it's got enough power.
Yeah.
Because you see in a lot of commercial applications, you can use a jack shaft
Because a lot of people wonder, does that have enough? Everyone's so used to the traditional way that they
trolley
don't
mount, yeah.
believe that there's enough power in those units.
For sure there is. Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of the manufacturers that make the jack shaft resi operator, you can also use that same operator for light commercial.
Really?
Yeah, and it escapes me how big that door can be up to but I think it might be either 10 by 10 or 12 by 12.
Is
but
it
I'm
a
not
better
exactly sure.
operation by actually putting the mount at the door instead of putting the mount 8 feet away from the door, and then you got a hook?
For me, like from a garage door perspective, not particularly. The extra wear and tear on the hardware, on the spring, not exactly sure. I think the jury's still out. It's relatively new. Just like springless door systems, I think really the jury's still out. It's still new technology.
Are you saying that on a low... Okay, so one of the big problems in the city of like Toronto, everyone has really low garage doors with a low ceiling inside. So they don't
a goofy height. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't have that clearance. So that door wants to like really kind of like bind and almost hit. With the jack mount, is it designed for low ceilings, and can it have a double track on it? Like, does that work? Does that make sense to you?
No.
Okay, so does it have enough power for a
Does
low...
it have enough power? Yes.
Yes,
but I don't know. But I don't know what you're
a
referring
low
to.
ceiling,
with the double
like
track.
it being like the door having to swing through with the side.
Well, that's
mount.
Toronto homes. You get some limitations. Where
No, I know, but-
not all just the side, but the height.
I don't think you're going to have the space in those Toronto homes for a jack mount operator.
No, you won't have the sides. That's
But
the
my
biggest
buddy's is
problem.
very small. Like it sits very small.
I was
right?
told 9 inches. I mean, we're talking about LiftMaster units, but I was told like 9 inches is the bare minimum.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 inches is a lot on the side
80
of a garage door.
Yeah, 8550, I think, is what they call it.
Yeah, I think
Something
so.
like that.
It's a beautiful unit.
That's what I have.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
agree.
love it, and it's quieter. It seems like it's a lot less effort to actually open
and
up that door.
And it comes with the MyQ technology.
Oh,
You
totally.
can
All that
connect with
Wi-Fi
it,
stuff,
yeah.
all that cool stuff, and also
Yeah.
camera too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a camera on it as well.
So what is
the
the
light.
minimum distance between the ceiling and the door that you should have? 9? Is that the magic number we're talking about?
9 inches is the side.
No, I know, but what would the top of that, like what when you're putting a garage door into a low ceiling, what do you need to know it for a number?
Well, you ask me these difficult questions.
Well, I
Because
mean,
you're the top dog here.
we're here to pick the pro.
Ask me about making it. And I'll tell you.
He's not an installer.
I'm not an installer.
We'll have to get the installers on board.
Yeah, get an installer. On.
Okay, so
We've
so-
had it. We had Joe Fernandez on the show.
Why didn't you ask him that question?
I think we. Did
I
we
know
ask him?
Joe. I saw him the
don't-
other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
and how? Yeah, well, I haven't seen him in a while actually.
Whatever
but
answer he gave you, that's the answer.
you know what? He is a great guy. The other day I was doing some tiles and I needed a question about a door, and I just called him up and I said, "Hey man, a quick question," and he's like, "Yes, bye." And I was like, "This guy's so cool."
Hey, man.
He just helped me like that, and then said, "Bye-bye."
That's what we're finding since this is our 92nd podcast. You believe that, Tony?
Hey, I've used. I do believe it because you've told me and twice, and I've used one of your contractors.
Who?
I reached out and you gave me his contact, the caulking guy.
Oh, that's right.
Vanguard.
Oh, Vanguard, man. He's the best. And
Solid.
how did that work
Solid.
out?
Already
Worked great?
done. Already done.
He
Job's
is
done.
the best guy in the city, hands down.
That is one hard working dude.
Oh man! And you ever see him do his the shavings for the
No.
sticks?
No,
Oh, because he makes his own sticks.
he told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I didn't
makes-
believe him, but
No, he makes his own sticks, and that's how he gets a perfect.
He also
finish.
soaks his own sticks.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Yeah, and he uses
That's the
specific
trick.
wood. So there's lots of tricks to that, but that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
we got to get him on the show.
Yeah.
90 minutes about caulking.
I could you
I'll
could talk
listen to
about
that.
caulking all day. and you know
Back
what?
to garage doors.
But no,
Yeah.
but that makes that plays a huge part. A lot of times I will get a door put in for a customer, and then there's this huge bead of caulking that needs to be done afterwards. I mean,
not a huge bead. What are you talking about?
I've
Where-
seen big
where?
beads.
No.
How?
If you
Why?
yeah.
Well, when they put the wood frame in, right? When they're
yeah,
now, are you doing that also? You keeping that wood now, or is that going metal? The outside jam.
I think aluminum capping looks way better.
that's the way it's supposed to go. You just cap it.
I think that looks really good.
Yeah.
Is that come with the door? Or is that the garage
separate.
install? Okay.
That's the garage installer would sell that.
All right. So someone told me a
They
while
lied.
back. They said it doesn't matter what spray foam company you use. It doesn't matter what kind of spray foam they use. It's about the actual sprayer. If you find a good sprayer, it doesn't matter what product he sprays, it's going to become a better product in general if it's applied properly, and it's more about the installer than it is the product. So when it goes to garage installers,
See my face?
Yeah. Well, nobody else can though because it's voice.
It's audio. It's audio.
Audio.
I got a face for radio.
Yeah. So do I.
I think where you're trying to get at
What
is
is a good contractor for garage doors?
It's mechanically sprayed. You don't have a guy spraying all the spray foam, is it?
No, it's
No.
regulated.
That's what I was getting to. What I was leading to is the garage door is only as good as the installer. So what I wanted to kind of say is, what do homeowners or contractors need to look for in a good installer? You must have gone through a lot of installers.
What do you mean gone through installers?
I mean, you get the fly-by-night guys that don't do a good job, and you get callbacks. You're selling a product, but people always call you and say, but this is your product. But it wasn't the product that failed. It was the install that failed.
Right.
What should people be looking for in an installer?
How you prejudge one before they get to you. I mean, I don't know. It'd just be like any other.
I think
any
red
other
flags
trade,
would come
right?
up if you actually are an educated client and they're already dictating towards your product, and all of a sudden the installer is suggesting a different product that's possibly saving them a little bit of money. I think that's what you want to avoid.
Because the garage door is a moving part, you're not going to know really until they're done. I mean, you'd have to be pretty experienced to know, and you'd have to know
If they did, cut
they don't
corners.
have the back hang doesn't look right, and they've got. But if you're not experienced, you're not going to know to look for that. But when your door starts to run, I mean, there's basic things you can look for. I guess you can look for you mentioned weather stripping earlier and gaps. You can look at the wiring for the operator. Does it look clean? Is it tidy? Is everything kind of look like it's where it's supposed to be? You should see some of the things that are out there. You can look at or listen to the sound of your garage door. I was just up at some of my friends' place up in the resort community that's just off of Innisfil Beach.
Is that like a
On the-
swinger
on the-
resort?
on the water.
There's like a little bit of secrecy going on
On
here.
the water. I just don't want to name the
No,
name the place, but,
no, keep it, yeah.
But and so you've got a lot of townhomes up there, and that are starting at $1 million, $1.5 million starting. So it's a big marina up off
Got
of,
it.
right?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, now I get it.
And so my friend, I mean, his aluminum door that opened and closed, we could hear that from 5-6 houses away. I mean, you kidding me? You spent $3 million on this place, and this is the
And
door
you
they
put a
gave
crappy
me.
Now,
door.
He
is that
didn't
a-
put it in.
But
He
was that a
didn't put it
boat?
in.
Was that a boathouse?
Nope.
Okay.
So that's a regular residence.
Regular, and there's rows upon rows.
Because again,
of-
it's like the afterthought. They just don't care. They just put anything, and they don't
Well,
think anything of it.
and the developer, I'm I don't know whether they knew or they spec something else, but you can hear it. It's okay. That's
You're
Is
not
that the
supposed to hear
bearings?
it.
What is that that's making that?
Well, you got to understand. So this thing, you've got a, depending on the size of the door, if it's an insulated door, you get a couple 100-pound piece of metal and foam moving up and down, somewhere between 7 and 10 feet, right? By the time you hit the back track. So you're moving this thing up and down a couple times a day, and you've got a standard spring system that's regulated for 10,000 openings. So that thing's going to open and close a lot of times. If that's off balance, you're going to hear the torque. It's still got to move, so it's still got to
true.
push its way through.
It's true.
So you're gonna hear that.
And that's
Like,
the sound that you hear.
You're going to hear it grinding and clicking, and especially as you see your garage door open from the vertical to the horizontal. And a lot of times you'll notice a bad installation when it kind of jumps there, right at that point where the panel starts to bend as it makes the curve. And a lot of poor installations, you'll see it kind of jump or skip or stutter.
Yeah.
So that's not a smooth installation. So you'll see stuff like that.
That would be one of the signs to call a garage door guy in to realign the door. Then.
Which is for sure they've done something wrong at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the maintenance with you guys?
What do you mean, what does it mean?
Like, how do you maintain your door? What do you tell people to do it?
For our door face, you
Yeah.
have to do nothing.
Nothing.
Watch
Weather,
it when
Mother
it's
Nature.
dirty.
That's it.
That's it.
How about the track and wheels, bearings,
No, we use commercial grade everything for what
sealed
we use.
units?
So you don't no sealants, no lubricants.
You should. That's really your spring, right?
That's
so
spring.
if you want to give it a little grease every once in a while, sure. But you should have. I think it's always good practice to bring a professional in to come and look at my door
Service it.
every so often and service it,
That's all.
right?
tweak it here and there.
And here, I think no matter what, if we talk about what someone should look for, buy the battery backup on your operator. Spend the extra $50.
That's huge, man. The size of a grapefruit, whatever, and and then all of a sudden you get 50. You get 50 backups.
I don't know what it is.
I think
like I talk to so many people and they go, okay, I gotta redo the garage door. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then you find out a little bit about the situation. We just had kids and this and that. So, would you want your wife and kids stuck at home and not be able to get the car outside? Like spend a little bit of money, buy the door that locks.
It's worth it.
Especially there's, I get calls because we're in Milton, so I get a lot of calls from here. And a lot of the garage doors don't have the lock on the inside, so a lot of people are breaking in through the homes in here, through the garage. And so, get the lock, get the automatic lock on the operator.
I've seen Joe do that a lot of times. He just puts it in. It makes sense.
I'll make sure I call him for the next job then.
Yeah, buy a good quality garage doors. You get a nice energy efficient, smooth running product. And then buy the operator with the battery backup and connects to your phone. That's just a safety feature.
We are speaking with Tony. We are in the lovely offices. You can find them on Instagram at Upwardor with 10. 10 _Inc. www.upwardor.com. And you can also reach out to Tony himself, T. Anderson with an O, at upwardor.com.
That's right.
We're talking garage doors, man.
Yeah. So
what else do we need to talk about regarding garage doors?
There's two things that are going to be diplomatic for you. One being price and gang rates. So are you okay with allowing some of the trade secrets or some of the costs? Because people are always interested in what does a garage door cost? What does it cost with windows?
What can
just
it
basics,
cost?
not holding you on anything, but just a round ball. People want to hear numbers.
Tony, tell us all your pricing, but we're not going to hold you on it. According to Carlito.
Well, so, let's just say, let's say for fully installed, half decent garage door, like a high quality garage door. I'm going to guess, but you guys would know. You're contractors. You would know.
I've got an idea.
I'd somewhere around $1,100.
Wow, that's really cheap.
That's reasonable.
So
that's where you start.
Yeah, that's where you start.
That's reasonable. And then you get into the fixings, right?
Right. Then you get into, what kind of glass you want. Do you want acid etch? Do you want how much glass? Glass is expensive.
Yes, it is.
I think people don't really realize that when they look at the look and go, I would love it to be glass.
But then all of a sudden the price jumps, 2, 3 times?
It depends where you put the glass. Do you put the glass down the vertical height of the panel or across? On the door or across?
But everybody these days is going down vertical.
And that's more expensive.
Because now you're doing a hole in each panel. Each section.
Yeah.
How expensive can a door get? What is the most expensive door you guys have produced?
Depends on the size. I mean, you think some of the commercial doors here, we make doors that are over 30 feet wide.
30 feet?
Yeah.
Wow. And what would that be for?
Combines, farms, out west. Yeah, I get tired carrying those panels.
I bet you do.
You don't carry them.
No, my wife carries those. I carry the 8x7s.
So what does an installer, now that you've bought the product, what's typically a going average rate?
I was giving you an install rate. So $1,100, $1,300.
That's installed rate.
That's the install. That's not the materials.
That's reasonable.
That's the install rate.
That's a single.
Yeah, single.
That's reasonable.
But think about that, right? 56 square feet, and how much would you pay for that front entranceway door?
So that's the insane thing. Or how much would you spend for that tile in the master bath or something?
Crazy.
Square footage wise, you compare it. But okay, so how do designers do they embrace you guys, or it's an afterthought? They don't care.
I think a lot of it is, for a garage door, for the majority of the manufacturers, you're kind of picking from a fixed palette, right?
True.
So if you want something custom, you're going wood. And then if you're going wood, are you going something like mahogany, or what are you doing with that thing? Then
but you don't like wood.
Your
personal opinion. Your personal opinion.
But
my personal opinion?
The maintenance on wood is insane.
Crazy.
Especially in Canada.
But we should talk about that then. If you want to have wood, you need to know that there's a lot of maintenance to it.
But a wood door can run you up to like $25K, if not more.
Yeah.
right?
And you can do fiberglass. So fiberglass door when you 5K a piece.
Even Stevie Wonder can see that it doesn't look like wood, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It looks like fiberglass.
But you're saying everyone's going flat panel anyways now, though, right?
It seems for us that most people, well, I shouldn't say most people, there's still a lot of stamp product out there. And maybe it's just that it went from virtually nothing to a lot of smooth black panels all of a sudden.
Anything in the future coming up, like solar panels on them, LED lights on the doors, anything cool and hip coming out?
It's not for us. Think about it. We're the small guy in the marketplace, right? And we are competing against multi-billion-dollar companies that compete worldwide in entrance systems. And
just for the record, Apple was a small guy in the marketplace at one time.
That's true. Yeah.
Just saying that everybody is a small guy in the marketplace at one time.
Sure. We've got, I think we compete very well with the kind of table stakes product. There's niche product out there. I guess, where I'm going with is we don't have the bandwidth and the capital width to take, some of those exploratory options that, when I was at my previous company, we would experiment with a couple niche ideas and see what kind of traction you got. We're not in a position to do that. And so what will come in the garage door business, I've talked to a couple companies about, could you make this thing do this, solar panels being the number one thing. And then the technology right now isn't there because you've got to get it angled at the right spot when the sun's at a certain angle. And your garage
with
door
a
is
roof
what it
application,
but now they have like moonlight solar panels. Like,
why don't you contact your buddy Tesla there, and maybe he can come up with a solar panel garage door.
I think he's more worried about getting to Mars right now, dude.
Yeah, I think he's worried about a lot of things.
Kind of like what he's doing, and I don't, but I do.
Here we go. Political.
Something as cheesy as dog doors or cat doors on garages, not recommended.
No.
You never seen it?
Never seen it.
Never asked. Why would you want to put a dog door in a garage door?
I always people are always telling me they want somewhere for their animal to go if they left them outside and they had to take off. So
you know, the next phase is going really. It's the garage door because it is the moving part of your home. It's tying that and integrating that into your smart home system.
That's totally where it's going.
Right, so
it's funny
Amazon
you say that.
Design and function is going to be paramount. Yeah, totally.
Amazon. So it's not really so much the physical door face; it's the operation of that door.
I call it the contractor entrance now. When I go to customers' houses, they used to greet me at the door, and then I would have to walk in and put mats down and roll out my carpets, whatever else that. Now they're like, yeah, you can go through the garage. And then I go into their little laundry room, mud room. That's where I get to set myself up. So that's the main point. Like I'm not going through the front door anymore. It's always through the garage.
Right, but now, the technology is there. It's not perfected yet, but it's there, where Google and Apple, or not Google and Amazon, sorry, not Apple, Google and Amazon, they can come and deliver to your door because your doors could be connected to your smart home. The door opens so high and the package slides under and the door closes.
You can watch the guy.
I never even heard of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
What do you mean you never?
Dude, I wasn't paying attention to that. But that's great to hear.
No, that's what's going
working too much
around the world. Everybody's doing
He's
that.
He's been designing a cat door.
Yeah.
Funny, eh?
Yeah, a cat door and a dog door on one panel.
Yeah.
He puts the cat on the second panel. I honestly think that it's going to be a design thing. I think there's been a lot of things recently in construction that have taken what we're so used to and taken it to a new level.
It'll be interesting to see where everything goes after this. The whole pandemic situation and how much you believe in it or not is a whole separate discussion.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's probably several. But, I think what's interesting is how will people view their nest, their home after this is all.
That's what's been going on the
done.
last 4 or 5 months. Everybody is reevaluating their home space.
Right.
I think what's actually happening is that they're rediscovering what the definition of a home really is to them. Because up until this pandemic crap, it was like I come home and I cook and I hang out, watch TV, or I have occasional friends over, whatever. Now it's different. I think home is going back to where it used to be back in the 40s and 50s, where it was an event to go to someone's home or to actually have something at your home. And I think that's what people are going to be doing.
Yeah.
So they're going to care more for their home.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna be very. I mean, so April sucked for us in terms of sales, but we've gone up in the last 5 weeks 300%.
Everybody across the
And
board.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
and our whole supply chain is feeling.
And it's not stopping. That's the thing about.
I don't see it stopping. I don't know where the labor is going to come from because you know you get paid to stay home. But so I think
some people, yes.
I think that's a challenge,
Yeah.
right? So that just puts a continual strain on the whole supply chain. But I think it's gotten real busy, and I you know, at least 18 months I see it staying busy, maybe longer.
I agree. It's going to
Do
go
you
right into
see
21.
a shortage of workers
There's a
to
shortage
install
now.
these garage doors?
There's a shortage now.
Good workers, good installers, guys who are not shady. For sure, I see that.
I took a course once when I did my MBA, and this professor I thought was really kooky, and I think he was an IS information systems professor, and he was really weird, like just strange bird.
Eccentric.
Yeah, and a lot of students didn't like him, but he did say one thing.
Strange bird.
He did say one thing that that stuck with me. He said, "There's very few instances in life, if any, where there's one cause and one effect."
Wow.
You look at because his point from information systems is everybody goes and blames the IT guy. The program isn't working, this isn't working, and there's so many reasons why program ABC is not working, hardware is not working, blah 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 blah. And so now we're at a time where there are so many different variables, like what happens to commercial real estate. Do people want to go back to the office? Do people make home work? And what happens to technology to allow people to do that? And what happens to the garage door space? And what happens to the garage space? Now, if I'm going to be home longer, do I need a more entertaining? Like, there's just so many variables
It's
right
so
now.
true. It is so true.
It's a very crazy time in many aspects. But
Because, I mean, that double car garage, that 400 square
Whoa,
feet,
double. It should be triple.
the garage?
I think every garage should have a triple
Depending
garage
on the
doors.
size of the house. But I'm just saying that on average, double car garage, that's 400 square feet of valuable space that belongs to your home that
Right.
you're not really optimizing.
right.
And that's what I agree with you 100% that homeowners should be reevaluating every single square foot of their home.
Well, they have
And
the time to now. You're
But
right.
treat every a segment like the master bathroom, like the kitchen. No more. Gone are the days where we'll spend all the money in these two rooms and we'll cherry pick the
Well,
other areas.
I think
Right.
you're also leading to something you said the last time we spoke. It's a lot of people own a lot of things and they're storing them in their garages that they should just get rid of if they're not using. And you can hear that over and over again, but until you really start to get rid of things, you start to realize, wow, I feel better. The place looks bigger. I can do more with that space, even with less things now, right?
You talked about, Tony, earlier on when you were in the other sector and you're going to people's homes and you're looking at drywall. When you walk around the neighborhood, what puts a smile on your face? Or what puts a cringe in your, when you see certain...
Well, I mean, now I'm looking at garage doors, right?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. You're
All-
staring at
all the
garage
time.
doors. But
And-
garage
and-
doors are everywhere. Wherever
Right.
you walk,
Right.
they're everywhere. So what do you like to see and what you dislike to see?
I mean, when you drive by a house and you see an ugly door, how do you miss it?
Yeah, it just pops.
It just really does. But the garage has always been an afterthought. I just don't think it will be anymore.
No.
And even not so much, well, for me because I'm on the entranceway. So that functionality of the garage door operational system is going to be, I think, take a larger and larger role. And then to what you just mentioned earlier, the inside space.
Yeah.
Right? Because you always left the garage unfinished and the basement unfinished. And I'll get to that when I get to it. Rough in the washroom in the basement, we'll fix the rest later.
No, but you're
It's-
right. Being a drywall guy from before, the garages look always unfinished.
Yeah.
Bad taping, just a fire code tape on there. It just looks like crap. There's mold.
It's cringy. And there's a house in my neighborhood that when I walk, he's got a garage, double car garage with a 67 Ford Mustang in there, and it's just got a cake of dust on it, and it's got boxes everywhere around it, and it's just a storage shed thing. And I'm like, that car would look 1,000 times better if it was actually parked in a garage for the purpose of that garage. And then you might actually want to just fix it and use it and drive it and then go in and out of it and use that valuable space.
And when you've gone into a garage that has been renovated, you know, and they've got a nice smooth floor, maybe it's bauxite or something,
Exactly.
Stuff, and they've got the proper racking system, they got proper storage systems, proper lighting, right?
Lighting's huge.
Lighting's huge, and that's one thing with those operators we were talking about earlier. You go in, the light comes on, it's huge, right? It's a huge safety feature, but it's just great. When you go into a garage that is like that, you notice it,
Totally.
like 100%.
I always felt that one of the biggest things that a garage door could really use to help friends, visitors, pizza guys, is your number of your home on the garage with a light. Like I always wanted.
What if you leave the door open?
No, but something if you want. Yeah, that's true. But how about if you have two garage doors?
What if your buddies are coming over and you're having the barbecue and you're whatever having a beer and the door's open? Wow, the 19.
Yeah, but it might not be open all the time.
I find it really interesting, Tony, that every time we actually speak to more and more brands and we get right to the top dogs of all the brands, Carlito takes a special interest in presenting a lot of ideas. I don't know if there's royalty behind that or
Not
if
at
it's
all.
just
Nobody cares about the Croatian sensation.
Who is that? I'd like to meet that person.
You're looking at him. All right, we gotta start thinking about wrapping it up here. Any other questions you got, Carlito?
If you could leave the homeowners with something, what would you leave them with?
If I could leave a homeowner with something, don't shop on price. I think that's pretty standard.
Shop on quality.
Shop on, yeah, and so, you know, I came from the construction industry, and we've had contractors in our place, and we thought we did our research.
But you're always surprised.
50% of the time we get screwed, right?
Wow.
That's another podcast.
Right,
Oh my
but you know,
God.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how to tell someone. I think reviews, and you can find a lot, and especially you can find a lot about how the company responds to a positive or negative review.
That's true. How they handle it. It's
Yeah.
actually more important how they handle a negative over a positive.
Right.
Because it's a tell
Yeah.
about them and their business and their brand. We have been speaking to Tony from Upwardor at Upwardor_Inc. www.upwardor.com, and you can get a hold of him at T. Anderson at Upwardor with 10.
One.
Oh, I was just about to say it.
.com. This has been great, dude. You said we had nothing to talk about when it came to garage doors. We had a lot to talk about when it comes to garage doors.
We talked about a lot.
Yeah.
I know a lot about Carlito. And a little bit about your
Yeah.
prom.
Oh. Oh, I got more for you.
No, you did not. We have one last segment here. Carlito, what is it?
The
Uh-oh.
10 questions
of construction. So there's this little segment that I used to watch from James Lipton. He did it in the actor studio where he would ask the actors 10 questions.
Yeah.
I kind of catered it to the construction industry.
Uh-oh.
So here are your 10 questions. And just be as honest and open about it. And I'm sure you'll answer these really well. Number 1.
Do you want a drink before we start?
Of what?
What is your favorite construction word?
Fuck.
What is your least
I thought it was gonna be
favorite
garage doors.
construction word?
As he scratches his face.
Lean.
Lean?
Ooh.
Lean.
I don't like that word either, man.
I know.
Wow, that's an intense word.
What turns you on in construction?
Money.
That's a first.
I thought it was going to be a sexy garage door.
No.
See, I'm married, right?
What turns you off in construction?
Dishonesty.
It's true.
Good one.
What is your favorite curse word? I
I've
might as
used-
well change this one because
I've used it.
I know lots of people have said it right off the bat. But that's yours?
Yeah.
Okay. What construction sound or noise do you love?
Jackhammering.
I find it really interesting that women hate that sound. Men love that sound.
Love that sound.
Because we like to hammer it down.
Here we go. What construction sound or noise do you hate?
A grinding garage door.
It is. It's almost like chalkboards.
Yeah,
Like
really
the nail-
is.
Yeah, it's almost like that. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
University professor.
Wow.
I could see that. What profession would you not like to do?
Shark fluffer.
It only comes from a newbie. Is there such a thing?
I don't know.
What the hell is a shark fluffer?
Porno shark.
Oh, now it makes sense.
No, I got.
I didn't get it at first.
And the last question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You're early.
Tony, thank you very much. What a pleasure to meet you finally, and what a great talk, man.
Guys, thank you.
Oh, dude, thanks so much. So everybody, well, no, hang on a sec. Everybody, go check them out at Upwardor _Inc. or www.upwardor.com, and then T Anderson at upwardor.com. Thank you, sir.
Can I ask
guys.
one last question?
One question. Go ahead.
If homeowners do ever call you, do you ever refer contractors for your installs?
If I know them personally.
Okay.
The homeowners,
No, the contractors.
the contractors.
I'll only refer somebody who I know personally to do good work. Not if I know the contractor personally, but if I know personally they do good work.
Good to know.
It makes a lot of sense. So any other contractors that are out there that are looking to get into the game and actually want to install quality product, give you a call, reach out to you,
Right.
and then you'll get a lot of clients.
Sure.
You guys had a surge of 300% in sales.
Yep.
Wow.
That says
Intense.
something.
Getting there.
Getting there, right?
Well, thanks for having fun with us today.
Thank you very
Thanks, guys.
much. Staying late at the office here. Sun's setting. I think the bar's calling. Get us out of here, Carlito. Thank you very much, Tony. Really appreciate it. Everyone, check out the garage doors. They got great models and great colors, great everything. That's it. We're not in the 416.
We're in the 905, baby.
Milton.
Georgetown, Milton.